Do you suffer from TMJ pain, teeth grinding, jaw clenching at nighttime? Here are our 4 things that you can do to help stop that straight away. Number 1.
So, did you know that one of the top causes of TMJ pain are actually in your gut? It's parasites. Bizarre. All of us have a parasite load, right? So they live amongst us all the time. So the idea that one person has parasites and another person doesn't is a myth. You all do. We all do. I do. She does.
It's just there, parasiting around.
The problem, unfortunately, is that some of the toxins that those parasites produce when they're being ejected from the body, or essentially they're not happy, are neurotoxins, and they affect some of our neurotransmitters. The neurotransmitter effect leads to anxiety, and that anxiety leads to tension and TMJ pain.
So what can we do about it?
So I guess the most important thing that we would suggest for you to do is gently but surely starting a parasite cleanse. Now, parasite cleanses, you'll see them all over the internet. You'll see lots of different routines and protocols, things you should or shouldn't do. We have a really simple 4-step parasite cleanse protocol that we will post a link to at the end of this video. And it takes you through a couple of practices and some herbs. And it's a very straightforward way for you to helpfully and healthily eject parasites from your system without causing disruption and in a phased, progressive, safe sort of manner. So,
it's a good thing to do 4 times a year, especially if you have kids, especially if you have animals, just to do a parasite cleanse anyway. So
exactly. It's preventative healthcare. That's what we say.
Really good. So number 2 is a pose that I teach to all my clients if they are teeth grinding or jaw clenching. And it's so simple. You can be doing it in work. You can be doing it on calls. No one even knows you're doing it, but it helps to release that place where the master and the TMJ meet here. So if you open and close your mouth there and you put your hand here, just in from the treasure of the ear, that sticky arty bit, you'll find that hinge joint. What we want to do is just create a little bit of release in there to stop that sort of tension that's happened, or that spasm that's happened in there. And you can do this really simply by placing your tongue behind the front of the top teeth and just pressing the tongue into the teeth and holding for 5 seconds. And then releasing and doing it again and releasing. And I would do it in bouts of 5. Leave it for a little while, come back to it again, every 45 minutes or something through the day if you're a jaw clencher. And it'll just help to prevent that subconscious clenching that's happening when you're stressed, when you're concentrating, when you're worried, those kinds of things.
Smart. Number 3 is using some sort of natural, smooth muscle relaxant. Something that's gently going to dilate blood vessels, release tension in tissue, support blood flow to the area, and just, essentially relax all the layers and layers of muscle, because we don't just have one muscle. We can always feel the superficial muscle, but underneath that there are these like stringy, sinewy things that are holding together like little kind of like support structures internally, the little microstructures that actually help us to kind of hold our big joints together and our big bones together. So some of my favorites of these are magnesium, which is a really obvious one. Who hasn't heard of magnesium? But it is so good. And the reason it's so good for TMJ, particularly with this kind of muscle relaxation thing, is because as an adjunct, it's actually working on so many other aspects of nervous system tension. So it works on supporting circadian rhythm hormones. It works on supporting the production of neurotransmitters like acetylcholine, things that help to fund your body's parasympathetic nervous system activity. That is to say, your rest and digest recovery kind of activity. It's also involved in blood sugar regulation, lots of background things that help to improve the sense of safety in the system and reduce the sense of tension and alert and all the things that build up that sort of like thing that leads to TMJ issues.
And help with sleep, right?
Majorly help with sleep, because circadian rhythm hormones, it's fundamental to producing melatonin and serotonin.
So which is the magnesium you would recommend in this instance for people who have teeth grinding things?
Probably it depends. If it's a chronic teeth grinding thing and you actually have like fatigue there, where people actually get like really a sore jaw from chewing because their jaw is so chronically tight, I would say probably use a magnesium citrate. Because the citrate form feeds the TCA, the citric acid cycle, in our cells, which is how we produce energy in the cells. The thing is that when you have chronic tension, like fibromyalgia, those types of things, those sorts of, chronic tension sufferers, they always have depleted ATP production, probably as a result of the tension that has led to essentially a lack of oxygen. Lack of oxygen means a lack of energy production in the cell. And so funding that cellular energy production can help to reduce that kind of like fatigue, early fatigue or quick fatigue in the jaw. And then the magnesium obviously does its own work. If you don't have that kind of more chronic thing where jaw fatigue isn't a part of it, then magnesium bisglycinate is what I would go for, because the glycine really helps to support the kind of the sleep-wake cycle. It works as an inhibitory neurotransmitter, really calms the racing mind, gets you ready for rest, helps reduce anxiety, those sorts of things.
Okay, and so then I would say is do a regular maseter massage. So this muscle here, like Finn was saying, there's a couple of different muscles that are all interplaying in here, but let's just focus on this kind of acute area right around here. And what I would do is get the flat part of your knuckles and drag down, and as you drag down, open your mouth. And you can use the pointy bits to dig in. So you can see how I'm changing direction halfway through. And then I would take it backwards. And keep the jaw open so you create that hinge joint opening. And then get your thumb right into the point where that bone meets the jawbone. Hook it up, find a tender spot, and then open and close on that tender spot. Like a pressure point massage. And it can be really tender. And I would repeat that as many times a day as you need, just to try and ease off that area. And you should feel like a nice load of blood flow to the area. You can even ease off tension and pain in the ears. You might get more saliva in the mouth. We're just trying to free that up and create good circulation and lymphatics in that area.
Super. So if you've enjoyed these quick little protocol for our best ways to help you stop teeth grinding and reduce TMJ tension, if you're on YouTube, if you want to find out more about how to reduce anxiety, more to how to support jaw and pelvic floor, because those things are related, if you want to learn more about the oral microbiome or generally get your health improved, come and find us, like and subscribe